Every child is unique. I shouldn't have to say this, but I'll explain in a bit why I'm saying it. But the reality is that because of their genes, because of the environmental influences, each child's brain will develop in slightly different ways. They'll interact with the world in slightly different ways. They'll be interested in different things at different times and engage with them in a different sequence. In early childhood, this is accepted. So if you have this book, it'll have the developmental milestones, and it's accepted that there will be a range where a child will acquire this skill. So some children will learn to walk earlier than others. Some of them will first learn to crawl. Some of them will directly go to walking. Some children, like Sahil's cousin, will get about on their knees upright and then switch to walking. It's a similar thing with speech. So they'll learn different words at different times. They'll struggle with different words. Sahil for a long time used to say yogi yolk, and we couldn't understand what he was going on about until one day he said it at breakfast and we realized it was egg yolks. Even with this book, we realized that with some indicators, Sahil was way ahead of his age, and with some indicators, he was behind. And even at his preschool, his assessments were something like that. And that kind of difference is normal. There is no normal child that achieves all of these indicators exactly at the right time. There will always be a variation. And this variation we should expect will increase as they get older, because their minds grow in sort of different directions, are exposed to different things. But somehow there's this expectation that by the time it's time for the child to go to school, they are all going to be ready to receive the same instruction, the same content at the same time in the same order. So all 7-year-old kids need to learn this. All 8-year-olds need to learn this. It's prescribed like that for the entire 13 years, and it doesn't make sense to have a school system like that if we accept that each child is unique. Part of the reason schools are like this is because, economically speaking, it's efficient. Right? If an adult is going to teach something, they might as well teach it to as many children as is possible at the same time. So this means that you can't have, if the teacher is teaching the Pythagoras theorem at 10 o'clock, you can't have somebody wanting to learn the periodic table at 10 o'clock because it's just not there in the system at that time. We have two conflicting ideas here. There is a standardized system of education, and there's a realization that each child is unique. So how can we put these things together? Can we offer a schooling environment that actually honors each child's curiosity, interest, and aptitudes? To do that, first of all, we need to let go of this idea that at the end of school, each child has to come to exactly the same place, and all the education is geared to getting every child to that place. We have to rather accept that even if we could predetermine 13 years in advance what is the best place for every child to be, and we can't determine that, but that's a separate problem we'll come back to later. Even if we could determine it, it's going to be a different place for each child. And if it's a different place for each child, then the path that they get to from where they are now to that point will also be different for each child. It doesn't mean that each child is walking alone on this path. There are going to be a lot of common areas where there will be shared experiences, and especially there will be certain things we will want to define as things that every child needs to learn in order to function in society. So even if we take our conventional syllabi, language literacy, maths literacy are part of the things that we need to have in order to function in modern society. But the problem with the conventional way of doing it is, one, it's not very effective because a lot of people come out of school and are not able to demonstrate those skills, or they struggle with math, or maybe they even hate maths. And second is that it doesn't even cover all of those essential skills that we think are necessary. It doesn't teach boys to grow up into men who don't harass women. It doesn't teach future parents how to be parents. It doesn't teach future citizens how to be engaged with the democracy. Engagement with democracy isn't that you turn up at elections and you cast your ballot. There's a lot more to it, but none of that is covered in our conventional syllabus. So even if we were to include all of these things into the school experience, all of the things that we say would be necessary for 21st century life, it would still be only a part of what each child experiences, and beyond that there will be their own unique, own specialized learning path that they add on to take them where they need to go. So what will a school look like if it were able to offer this kind of personalized path? First of all, it will require us, most of us who have been through the conventional schooling system, to de-school ourselves. We have to let go or unlearn certain assumptions about what school is and what school ought to be in order to imagine what this different model or alternate model of school could be like. And in our future videos, we'll explore more detail on different facets of this. So I hope you will join me for those videos.